But has anybody seen that Seinfeld episode where he gets all the checks from Japan? That's it in a nutshell. You get a stack of checks that you have to sign all day, and it comes to $35, and all of your friends go, God, all those residuals, I can't believe it. And then you're ashamed to go, yeah, look, it's a check for a quarter. Somebody cut a check for a quarter. But, you know, not all of them are that small. But the DVD money is a great mystery to me right now. And
sell a lot, then you'll
get more.
Also depends on how much they sell it.
With the DVD stuff.
You don't give them the authority to release it.
Oh, no, they own it. When we sign a contract, this is like every actor I know, and a lot of musicians and authors too, who aren't familiar with things. I've gotten this call several times from people. I've got this contract, and there's this clause in it that says everything we do is owned by the producers, which makes sense, but it's this next phrase that scares me, and I don't understand it, because it says they own all of the rights throughout the universe in perpetuity. Which means when we discover another world, and we want to rerun Fame, they can do it without asking any of us, because they own it throughout, they covered their bases with throughout the universe, not the world, the universe, just in case something. That's, you know, I asked somebody once, why do they even bother putting it that way? They're like, you never know. We could find a wormhole to another dimension, and they could all be huge fans of Beauty and the Beast. In which case we want to start selling to them immediately, whoever they might be, and provided they're friendly and they don't consider us food stuff, then we immediately want to sell to them. You'll get your residuals when we're selling to the alien creatures, but it's just like, just in case. And in perpetuity, because forever and ever, every place. It's legalese, and it's in all contracts that involve rights, but I tell you, when artists see it the first time, they're convinced they shouldn't sign. And, you know, so it's all this kind of, I'm really curious to see how the DVD plays out for us, because the only TV DVDs I've been involved with have not really sold that well. Beauty and the Beast went through the roof. We were up there on the list with movies that just came out last week with big stars for weeks on Amazon. I was impressed. The first season of Fame came out a year and a half, 2 years ago. Didn't really make a beat. I looked up the highest it got on Amazon, which was 3 digits. And the highest I saw on Amazon for Beast was 9. And it was also up around 9 at Borders and all of the different online outlets. And so, you know, I know people who do movies and they get their DVD money and you go, good Lord, that's a lot of money. And sometimes more than they made making the movie. And I don't expect that, but I'm hoping that it is more than $1.37. And, you know, but they have this whole complex formula with cable and DVD and stuff, because for some reason they've still been able to sort of mine this idea that, well, these are new technologies, and, you know, real TV shows are on network, and then they're rerun, and then they go into syndication on broadcast channels. And that's what deserves the big money. Now, cable, that's a new thing that people pay for, and nobody has cable. What? And so, to this day, like residuals for a cable show, they act like nobody watches The Sopranos. And so the residuals are lower unless you personally negotiate them back up. And they have all these formulas that are based on kind of the idea that, well, this was made to be on television, it's already been on television, now this is some extra thing that nobody ever thought about, and so it doesn't really have to share like we share it with the rest. So that not every dollar of what they gather from a DVD, there's some formula. So it's not like the actors get this percentage of the whole, they get this percentage of some percentage of the overall. So it makes it really hard to figure out. Plus, I don't know, does anybody have any idea how many units sold of first season? It's a good reason for that. They guard those numbers like crazy. But you know it was hundreds of thousands of copies because of the place on the charts that it was, and then also the fact that they broke their neck to record a little stuff with Ron and Linda and get the second season out. The fact that's coming out this coming week means that they sold and sold, and Paramount went, how can we do this again immediately? Well, of course we have. Of course we have. And they finally figured it out. Now, my theory, this is just my theory, about third season, because am I wrong about the fact that third season was not complete 22, was it?
No.
That's right, okay. So my theory as to what will happen with third season, because people want it, but people know they don't want it as much, and it's not a full thing. I kind of think they'll skip releasing it as an individual volume, and it will come out as part of a box set with the other two with enhanced features. That's my theory, because right now, the history of Paramount, it's Paramount Home Video doing this, the history of Paramount, they spent a lot of time trying to beat Star Trek to death, canceling it, telling the fans to go away, telling the actors they're daft, blah, 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 blah. Finally, they made a Star Trek movie, and it saved Paramount Studios from bankruptcy. So you've got a studio that sits there and goes, this is bad, nobody wants to do that, that's stupid, that's over, that was 1969. And then it saves them. And Star Trek basically saved Paramount literally from the brink 2 different times. And the whole financial backbone of Paramount Studios, and think about this, Paramount Studios, it's made things forever. The whole financial backbone of the place is Star Trek. That's why they exist and continue to be profitable. And I'm sure they're over there right now on Melrose trying like heck to figure out how to Star Trek again. What's the way to make that go again? Because the last one, Enterprise, it didn't really take off and they really wanted to. I'm sure they're trying to figure out how to take that franchise. And there'll be more movies, I'm sure, because they need it. Yes? Oh, great. So J.J. Abrams is writing the latest Star Trek. This is what I'm saying. We've got a highly paid staff of proved professionals working on this thing that for really 10 years they went, stop talking about it. And, it's got to feel bad as a corporation when you keep saying this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and that's the only thing that keeps you from closing over and over again.